Well, hello there. My name is Mark Miles, and as you know, I love helping trainers, presenters, facilitators really take their results to the next level. And in today's video, I want to talk to you about the topic of skill acquisition and helping people acquire new skills through your training. Now, the topic I'm going to talk about right now is called scaffolding. Now, this is a topic that comes from more so a teaching background. Yet the thing is that when you see a facilitator or a trainer that has got this and got it intuitively, the results that they get in a training session are radically different to somebody that may ignore this concept. Now, this concept of scaffolding is basically how do we set up the learning environment and the structure so that essentially everybody is going to have a heightened probability of actually walking away with not just this confidence, but also the skills and the knowledge to complete the tasks that you're actually teaching them to do. Now, scaffolding essentially is building blocks. Unfortunately, though, when this concept is ignored and not put in place, a lot of times people lose confidence and lose confidence very quickly, or they just walk out what I call half baked. Now, half baked is basically they just haven't mastered the skill or they haven't been able to develop the skill to the point where they can go out and feel comfortable to implement themselves. So, scaffolding, what is it? Well, essentially, scaffolding is the ability to do plus one. I'll say it again if you're taking notes plus one. You see, ultimately, if we want to help someone develop skills, we need to be able to set up tasks and activities that get incrementally harder and harder and harder and harder and harder each time. But what often happens though is that a trainer may not be aware of the current skill level of the attendees or the audience, and they may potentially make the activities too hard, too fast, and as a result, the audience member or the trainee loses confidence too quickly. See, let's unpack confidence. Confidence is essentially a self belief that I can do something or I can achieve something. How is confidence developed? Well, essentially, it's from doing something, then an audience member looking back and going, wow, I just did that. Wow, I just did something I didn't think I was capable of doing. And now I have a new level of self belief. And that expands my identity. So, if we put this back into the context of plus one, we need to remember that if we're going to teach something, we need to make it incrementally harder, but not so hard that somebody goes, oops, whoa, I couldn't do that. That was beyond my capabilities. And so we need to become acutely aware of what does the audience member believe that they are capable of, and then incrementally and slowly over time, adding plus one variable, plus one new variable, plus one new variable. And each time as we add it, we also want to create time for self-reflection and self-review. And by doing so, we're going to find that the audience members acquire the skills and the knowledge even faster. And it's going to be a guaranteed process of the person developing a self-awareness of their own progress, but also they're going to do it in a very structured, and although it's going to be a little bit harder, a little bit harder, a little bit harder, it's never going to blow them out of the water, so to speak. And scaffolding, when done well, people feel like they are in a comfort zone, yet they are being challenged at the same time. And unfortunately, there are a lot of trainers out there that don't have the conscious awareness around scaffolding. So they'll throw people into activities that are not set up well or that are beyond people's capabilities and self-perceived capabilities. And as a result, the students don't come back the next day. And then the trainer goes, oh, yeah, it's the student's fault. Or, yeah, it's because of X, Y, Z. Well, maybe, maybe not. Scaffolding is something I highly recommend all trainers, educators, facilitators become extremely aware of. And all you need to do is have that plus one mentality. Make it a little bit harder, a little bit harder, a little bit harder, a little bit harder, but not so hard that you blow people out of the water. And ultimately, you need to find the sweet spot. You need to be able to find that sweet spot. How do you do that? Well, over time, practicing and noticing people's reactions, and maybe you need to dial it back a couple of steps as well if you are finding that people are falling behind or something like that. So I really want to encourage you to think about that sweet spot. And if you want to check out a book around flow, check out that book called The Rise of Superman. And it really talks about how do you get people into that flow state so that they are comfortable to be scaffolded, so to speak. All right. So on that note, hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. And definitely subscribe. Would love you to subscribe and be part of this journey. These videos come out every Monday, and I love helping people develop these new awarenesses around concepts and tools that you can take into your training environment to really get better and better results every time you train. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.